this is the conversation I want. Shout out to all the tankologists. Everybody who went to tank college and mastered in tankology, got their PhD in tankology and tankism, the toism of tanking, the art of tanking, the brand of tanking. Like, just shout out to all the tankologists. But let's have this conversation. I'm old school. You know where the vibe is going. One, I think anybody that's too comfortable with tanking is it resembles too much of quitting, passive aggressive quitting. That's what I think tank at this point for us. This isn't some genuine thing that's happened. Because 3 out of the last 5 seasons we've been, as soon as things don't go our way, we're tanking. Because we just a lottery pick. And it becomes that motion, that movement. That, and the momentum goes into that conversation. And some of y'all are too cool with losing. Like, it's all right. No, because what's going to happen is we going to get this draft pick and then the world going to change. Ain't shit going to change. You going to get that draft pick and realize you still don't know how to win yet. You still can't guard the 3 yet. You still have the same problems you had before. See, the reason why the Kawhi Leonard situation worked so well is because the Raptors were winning without him. And when he came, continued to win while he wasn't playing. So when he came, he made what the Raptors were already doing more better. That's it. He just made it more better. Took it over the top. That's what you want. You want to add something to what you're doing so it could take you to another level. But what are we doing? What are we doing? Because you can't say that we've definitively drawn our line in the sand and said, all right, enough is enough. We got to win. Because y'all keep saying, no, we tanking. That's why we gave up 55 threes. That's why they had 22 threes and 19 threes and 24 threes. Because, we tanking. Word? All right, so when it's time to get serious, what it's going to look like? Since we created this subculture, while we're defining and redefining a winning culture, there's a subculture of quitting, passive quitting. And then the conversation of there's a draft, there's this kid in college. If we could get him, if the lottery balls bounce our way, we can get him. And then that's at some point, you have to understand that that's some pie in the sky, miracle, spiritual, lyrical shit. At some point, you have to understand that there has to be structure and there has to be a system, there has to be routines, and your goals have to be attached to the work that's done within those routines. That's how you become successful, by the way. They've been lying to us about goal setting the whole time. It never felt right whenever somebody told me, hey, set a goal. And then you set a goal and you look at that shit and it seems like there's something missing. Not that I couldn't accomplish anything. It's that it just felt like something was fucking missing. This can't be it. There has to be more. And they held that secret of actually how to be successful for like 50, 60 years. Part of it was they couldn't put it in proper context because you really can't explain what is being organically created until after you sit down and you look back on it and reflect, and then you try to put your intellect into it to make sense of it, and sometimes you really can't. Sometimes, you need someone to really put it in proper context. And I've recently, like maybe a month ago, stumbled on some information, some real good information, like magnificent information that changed just like, got it. It was bullshit. It's a setup. All of it. How else would you need someone's program if you actually knew how to be successful? You wouldn't need their information because it's very, very simple. A lot easier and it's hard to wrap your mind around it because your ego believes that it's just this big, massive motion that you're supposed to have, and it's not. It's so minute that even a child could do it. And they do it. It's an easy process. But it's different in different specs of life and spaces that they're in. So what is going to be our system? What is going to be our routine? What are the things that we're going to have to do, and what goals are we going to have to set within doing those things to accomplish the ultimate goal? That stuff has to be defined. It's more than just, we're going to develop players and then they're going to be, no, you're still missing a lot. But when we get this draft pick, you're still missing a lot. There's still a lot missing. Well, when such and such steps up, still missing a lot. Well, when we trade Yakapurtle and then, we trade Yak for a younger version of Yak, then we still a lot missing. Well, when the coach does what? Because the Bulls figured it out when they found the triangle. But they knew how hard it was. You got to shift what you were already doing, change what already got you to the Eastern Conference Finals, change that, what you've been doing for the last 5 years, 6 years, and change that and now do this. They knew how difficult it was to change the habits. And that's why Phil Jackson was so important, because he made that day-to-day transition easier for them. That's why Phil Jackson got most of the championships with the triangle, and then Steve Kerr was able to get his off the triangle. But there has to be an understanding of, what is our system? Does the system work? They knew the triangle was going to work before they even used it. It's just the players didn't believe in it, because it didn't leave a lot to free will. It was structured. Sometimes when you have a great player, you get the most out of their abilities when they're put within a structure. Once you have a star, you got to find structure to make use of those talents and the talents you put around them. We got Scotty, right? So Scotty's our guy. That's cool. But what's the system to utilize everything that he is and make use of what everybody else is also? What does it look like? On offense and defense. Because on defense, he has a presence also. So what are we doing? Because there's a lot missing in a lot of that dream that y'all have about this whole tanking. It doesn't create solutions for the problem. And it doesn't create any fucking alleviation of the work. Because it's like everybody wants the miracle, but nobody wants to put the work in for the miracle to exist. It's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of work. And a lot of people got to be held accountable to do that work. And until they do it, it's not going to be done, and we're going to look like we look. The work got to be done. Either the coach has to find a system, offensively and defensively, that utilizes everybody, that everybody could connect to. That's simple. I don't know we don't know what we doing. We fall behind. It looked like there's a lot to be desired. There's missing. We should have a game plan from when we're up by 6, game plan from when we're down by 6, and that should be what type of offense we gonna run, what type of I saw us playing a zone at one point. I was like, all right, man, this nigga here, man. What we doing, man? They shot us out of the zone. They did their job. That's what I was really expecting more often than not in these NBA games, because professional, that's their job, to knock down that shot. Detroit did their job. But we keep sacrificing these seasons. For what? No, we're gonna get this season is up. We're gonna get this season up, and then that next season, we said that already. See, but the difference was, we were saying that with guys who were still on this team who won a championship, who were all-stars, all NBA, all defensive players. We had those guys. Now we can't say the same thing for these guys that we said for the last group. The last group were champions. That's why we were able to say that and hang our hat and have that type of hope. And there was a coach that won the championship with those guys. So that's where the hope and that it would be turned around came from. We don't have that same connection with them. They ain't win shit yet. So there has to be pressure from us. Because they cruising as if they want something. You can't afford to tank. If they beat us, they beat us. But to tank, that's only a luxury that a team that has some things defined already can do. We don't have that luxury. And we're going to see how this plays out. Because y'all love to tank. Y'all love to tank. Well, we get, and I'm telling you right now, as good as that kid seems, as good as Cooper Flag seems, he's not the answer to our prayers. He's not the answer to what we got to solve, the problems we got to solve. And to bring him in and to say, these are some of your problems too, nah, that's their problems. And we most likely not going to get him. Hey, you think, okay, you know what this is. You heard the scandals back in the day about the suspicion. I ain't gonna say scandals, the suspicions behind those lottery balls bouncing around. The suspicion. So it's, you know what I mean? To say we gonna get them, like if it happens, it happens. But I'm not putting my hopes on that because this is a business, and you gotta do what's best for the business. But I want to know why there's this culture of tanking. Everybody's just comfortable with giving up because it ain't working out the way you want it to work out from a record standpoint. And then what happens is guys actually give up and half-ass it. And when you get into this mode of you half-assing it, you'll trick yourself into believing what little effort you give above half-assing is actually the maximum effort that you can give. And then next thing you know, we have another problem because guys aren't giving our full effort. They're giving us what they say is the best they can give us when they actually they part of a culture where guys were just giving half. They want to tank anyway and get it. All right, man, we just going to go through the motion. And then when it's really time to go, how are they going to know how to go? Where are they going to get those extra gears from unless they're already cultivated and created? Because it's just not physical, it's emotional and mental. You have to deal with momentum shifts. You have to deal with not playing well. You have to deal with the highs and lows that come along with the game, and you still got to be productive and win while the other team and everybody else want to win. It's deliberate. You're not going in there haphazardly just trying to hoop. No, you're trying to win. So we got there's a lot of questions and a lot of things that got to be taken care of before we can start thinking it's okay to give up. Because you look at these players that we got, Chris Boucher is giving us 110% because one, he really doesn't want to go, and two, wherever he goes, he knows that's a step closer to being out the league. So he got to show that he can hoop so he can get another contract. And now these teams are anxious. And salute to Chris Boucher. But I hope he stays. But if he doesn't, I understand. But be careful what you ask for. Y'all so busy wanting to tank and no, we tanking. All right. Well, when we gonna start winning? When we gonna get back to winning? If you keep creating this culture of tanking, and when you tell guys, yo, I need y'all to go all out, their all out isn't gonna be all out. It's not gonna be the all out you need to win. It's gonna be a little bit better than what they did when they were tanking because you created this culture of you ain't got to give us 100%. You can give us 55 and say it's 100. You can give us 55, and then when we say go a little harder, you give us 60, and then you still leave the other 40 on the table. We know what it looks like when the team plays hard. We know what it looks like when the team gives 100%. It's every game. It's not in doing it one time because any team can give you 100% once. Can you do it 82 games and the playoffs? 100% effort, 100% execution. That's not easy to do when you keep saying let's tank and try and get a draft pick, because when isn't there going to be this miracle spiritual kid that everybody wants? When isn't there going to be a great draft class? There's always going to be those bullshit conversations, but that has nothing to do with professional basketball. When they get here, they're going to have their own challenges. I think it's time we start dealing with the reality that we got to learn how to win. We got to start that process as soon as possible, because when LeBron leaves, it's going to be wide open, and we got to be in position as an organization and as a team to take advantage of every opportunity we get as close as we can to winning another championship. That's the goal. That's what I'm that's what I'm standing all this next to. Not we're just trying to survive as an NBA franchise. No, we're trying to win another championship. Where does what we're doing stack up against that dream? That's how I'm looking at it. But tell me what you think in the comment section.